Have you ever felt like no matter how much you try, the world just doesn't understand you? That deep, invisible pushback that comes from people you care about, or even strangers, as if something inside you unsettles them, but you can't quite put your finger on why. Today, we're going to explore a kind of rejection that cuts deeper than words. A rejection that seems senseless, but is in fact one of life's most profound teachers. If you've ever felt ignored when you poured your heart out, or excluded for no apparent reason, or watched people drift away despite your genuine intentions, then this message is for you. But fair warning, this isn't casual inspiration. It's for those who feel deep down that their journey is different. It's for those who carry a sensitivity the world often doesn't honor. It's for those who sense they were placed here with purpose. I'm not here to hand you empty comfort or cliches. I'm here to remind you who you truly are, where you came from, and why these experiences, the painful, confusing ones, are part of your path. There's a type of rejection that isn't punishment. It's confirmation. It confirms that you have been chosen, separated, called for something greater. While most people avoid pain, those who are chosen learn to listen to what it teaches. One of life's greatest spiritual teachers is rejection itself. It shows you who you are, reveals what you carry, and protects you from those who aren't ready for your light. Every time you've been pushed away, it wasn't a loss, it was preservation. That door closing wasn't denial, it was protection. The universe knows what's not meant for you, even when your heart wants it. So take a deep breath, connect with what I'm sharing, close your eyes if you need to. This is one of those talks meant to reach your heart, to resonate in your soul. We're about to walk through these pains, not to dwell in suffering, but to understand them. Understanding transforms everything. Let's start with one of the quietest, most subtle forms of rejection, the type that doesn't scream or argue, but silently withdraws. You didn't do anything wrong, you were kind, genuine, even helpful, but the person slowly fades away. This silent rejection is especially painful for those who feel deeply. We notice every detail, a change in tone, a glance that isn't the same. The hurt comes not only from losing someone, but from not understanding why. Spiritually, there's a reason behind this silence. When you are chosen, you carry a light that others might not be ready to see. I'm not talking about mysticism or ego. I mean your presence, your authenticity, your energy. Even quietly in a corner, your being speaks volumes, touching places in others they aren't prepared to confront. And when they retreat, it's not because you failed, it's because your light revealed truths they couldn't yet face. You've probably noticed that speaking from the heart often causes people to shut down. They call you intense, overly sensitive, complicated. What they really mean is, you've made me feel something I wasn't ready to feel. This isn't personal, it's energetic, it's spiritual, and the higher you rise, the more you will encounter it. This doesn't mean you should dim your light. It means understanding that silence is a response, not a rejection. A signal saying, you are moving beyond me and not everyone can follow. Stop trying to explain yourself, shrink yourself, or fit into the space of those who can't hear you. Some people pull away simply because they can't handle what you bring, and that's okay. You weren't made to please everyone. You were made to remind others of who they are, and that scares them. For those chosen, one of life's most profound lessons is loving someone who isn't ready. Not a casual love, but the kind that's pure, intense, and freely given. Yet often the other person cannot sustain it. They may initially receive it, but eventually they retreat, as if your love were too much. And in that quiet heartbreak we question ourselves, did I love too intensely? Did I overstep? But in truth, you were whole. Some people simply know only halves. True love, the kind the chosen carry, isn't about games or conditions. It demands presence, truth, and courage. And when others haven't reached that point, they run. You may have experienced this soul-deep connection only to watch it dissolve because the other person couldn't hold it. But the real threat wasn't your love, it was the reflection you cast. You showed what is possible, real and profound. That is beautiful, but for those unready, it is terrifying. So never blame yourself for loving fully. This is your path. Every silent rejection, every retreat is a teacher, a guardian, a guide. And understanding this changes everything. Honestly, reading this makes me realize how much rejection isn't really about us. It's about timing, readiness, and the energy we carry. I truly believe that the moments when people pull away or stay silent aren't punishments, but signs that we're on a different path, one that others might not be ready to walk with us. For me, this reframes all the past hurts I've carried. Instead of feeling broken or unworthy, I see them as confirmations that my journey, my light, is unique and meaningful. I also feel strongly that loving fully and deeply isn't a flaw, even if others can't handle it. It's a gift, and it's meant to reveal what's real, not to force someone else to change. Every time I've experienced that silent rejection, I now understand it as a spiritual lesson, a kind of protection rather than a loss. It reminds me to honor my sensitivity, embrace my intensity, and never apologize for being fully myself. In the end, I think the most important thing is to recognize that our experiences with rejection are guiding us toward the people, opportunities, and paths that truly match our light. And that gives me a sense of peace and purpose I didn't have before. Every unreciprocated love, every heartfelt offering that is met with rejection is shaping you. It's teaching you how to give without losing yourself, how to offer your heart without forgetting your worth, and how to understand that your light is not meant for everyone. And that's okay. Your heart is sacred, a temple, and should only be home to those who know how to honor it. Until then, love, but start by embracing yourself. When you understand the value of what you give, you stop begging for acceptance and begin attracting those who truly see you. There's a pain that's hard to explain, and it comes when someone starts avoiding you without cause. No harsh words, no offensive gestures, no disrespectful acts, nothing. Just your presence being too much. And you replay every conversation in your mind, trying to find a mistake, but there isn't one. You simply were yourself. For some people, being confronted with authenticity is overwhelming. When you are chosen, your presence carries a revealing light. It doesn't matter how quietly or humbly you show up. Your energy shifts things, challenges what others hide, exposes what they aren't ready to face. That's often when distance begins, masked as busyness, personal growth, or being in a different phase. But the truth is fear. Fear of being seen fully, of feeling what your presence awakens, of confronting their own truths. You haven't harmed anyone, you've simply revealed what they cannot yet handle. It's not personal, even if it feels like it. It's not about you, even if it wounds you. It's about the other person's inability to hold their own reflection. Some people will always choose avoidance over facing their own truth. And yes, it's hard to accept because chosen hearts are generous, empathetic, forgiving. We want to understand, to help, to make sense of it. But part of our journey is learning not to force our presence where it isn't welcomed, not to plead for space where our soul has already been silently rejected. Being ignored or avoided by those you've never harmed is one of the quietest spiritual tests. It's shaping you to move with awareness, to be selective, to honor yourself not out of superiority, but because your soul no longer fits in narrow spaces. Even though it hurts, it is protection. The universe is saying, do not waste your light where it will be mistaken for disturbance. You are not being rejected, you are being preserved. Few experiences are as confusing and yet as common for the chosen as the sense of being surrounded by people but feeling utterly alone. You felt it, haven't you? Sitting in a group of friends, at a family gathering, or a social event, yet sensing as if your soul exists elsewhere. You participate, you smile, but inside there is a quiet awareness that you do not belong there. This solitude is not physical, it's spiritual. Your spirit perceives what others cannot. And that awareness can be exhausting. You notice masks, detect hidden agendas, feel subtle energy shifts. While others focus on the superficial, you're sensing purpose, truth, transformation. That's why the question arises, is there something wrong with me? No, there's nothing wrong. Your calling has pulled you out of the shallow, forcing you to feel, question, and seek something greater. Those who remain at the surface cannot understand this. Loneliness amid crowds is one of the first signs of spiritual awakening. It is not punishment, it is divine separation. God is showing you that your soul requires depth, silence, and truth, and that sometimes walking alone is necessary until you find those who can see with their hearts. This solitude is also a gift. It strengthens you, sharpens your sensitivity, and teaches that meaningful connections are about quality, not quantity. If you feel empty even when surrounded, it is because your soul is asking for something purer. Those who have experienced the weight of true solitude will never settle for shallow presence. One of the silent wounds carried by the chosen is being misunderstood despite the purest intentions. You speak with an open heart, but are met with suspicion. You offer guidance, but it is perceived as criticism. You help, and it is seen as intrusion. The result is an emptiness, a feeling that you acted with love, yet were interpreted as harmful. It is difficult, because a chosen spirit feels everything intensely. Purity of intention often goes unnoticed, and those already wounded may interpret your words through their pain. You may begin to silence yourself, hide your feelings, swallow your words to avoid conflict, and slowly fade. But remember, your sensitivity is not wrong. You do not need to bend to meet others' expectations. Your essence is light, and light exposes what darkness tries to hide. Chosen souls are often misjudged. They are called arrogant by the humble, cold by those who cannot understand silence, too different by those afraid of authenticity. Misunderstanding is part of the path, but it must never silence your soul. Continue to act with kindness, even when called naive. Continue to speak your truth, even when your words are twisted. Those who need to understand will recognize you without constant explanation. Do not justify yourself. Do not beg for comprehension. The universe is wise. It removes those not meant to stay and draws near those who see your true self. You were not born to please, you were born to awaken. And yes, it can feel isolating. The more awakened you become, the more others may treat you as naive, unaware, or too young in understanding. But your wisdom is earned. You endured solitude, healed in silence, faced wounds few dare confront. You have traversed deserts known only to the chosen. Your insight comes not from books or titles, but from life itself. And that is why many do not take you seriously. God chooses the unlikely, hiding his true messengers in plain sight, for the wisdom of the chosen is quiet, subtle, and deeply felt. For me, reading and reflecting on all of this brings a deep sense of clarity. I truly believe that every moment of rejection, every time someone distances themselves, is not a reflection of our worth, but a part of the process of being refined and guided toward what truly aligns with our soul. It has taught me that loving fully doesn't mean losing yourself. It means knowing your value and refusing to settle for shallow connections. I've realized that the silence, the distance, and even the misunderstandings are often forms of protection, signs from the universe that my energy and my presence are meant for those who can truly see me. And that understanding changes everything. It removes the pressure to explain, to justify, or to shrink. Instead, it opens the door to patience, self-respect, and the kind of love that is reciprocal, conscious, and lasting. Ultimately, my opinion is that being chosen Being different and being misunderstood are not weaknesses, they are proofs of awakening. And embracing that truth allows us to honor our journey, trust our path, and shine fully without fear of rejection. Because those who are meant to walk with us will recognize our light naturally. And everything else is just part of the lessons that shape us into who we are truly meant to be.